Today we're going to be learning about some fun classroom games that can help your children prepare for their state standardized tests. These games are perfect for any 3rd, 4th, or 5th grade classroom. Now you have two options. You can either give all your children a worksheet or you can play this really fun game. Take that exact same worksheet that you were going to print out and give it to them anyways, and then go ahead and cut out the questions. Once each question is cut out into little pieces, you're going to put that question inside of a balloon, blow up the balloon, tie it in a knot, and then tape it to your whiteboard. Or if you're a homeschool parent, then just tape it to a wall. Then divide up all your children into different groups and then give them something that they can use to actually pop the balloons. One person per team at a time will go up to the board and pop the balloon and then go back to their group and answer the question. After they've answered that question, of course, it's the next person on their team's turn to run to the board and do that all over again. Now, it's important to note that this game is done in a relay form fashion and all the balloons are fair game. Therefore, once all the balloons have been popped and all the questions have been answered, whichever team has the most correct answers would win the game. Now, I love a good flashcard for fluency, so our next game is the flashcard relay. This game is perfect for reviewing vocabulary and even math skills. Now, for this game, you're going to divide up all your children and even divide up the stack of flashcards so that each team has the same number of flashcards. You can do the math, but if you had 100 flashcards and you had 4 teams, then each team would have 25 flashcards. Put the stack of flashcards on one side of the room and then all your children will line up like a relay race on the opposite side of the room. Each child would run to the other side of the room, pick up the first flashcard, and then yell out the correct answer. You will be standing on the side of the room with the flashcards to make sure that they're actually answering these right. They cannot leave until you give them a thumbs up that they answered the question correctly. Once a student gets the thumbs up for you, thus answering the question correctly, they run back to their team and then it's the next person's turn. This game will continue until one team has finished all the flashcards, thus winning the relay race. Now, I'm preparing my children for the state standardized test. This was one of my favorite games, and that is Flip Cup. Let me know down below in the comments, have you ever played Flip Cup? Because I am the Flip Cup master! Now with Flip Cup, you're going to take a worksheet or study sheet and then you're going to cut up all the questions. Now, you're going to divide up all your children into different teams and each team needs the exact same study sheet or worksheet. In addition to the study sheet or worksheet, each team will need one plastic silicone cup and they need to play this game on tables or desks, you know, whichever one you have. Each team will also need a notebook sheet of paper and then we'll go ahead and number off however many questions were on the worksheet or study sheet. Now teams are officially ready to set up the game of Flip Cup. With this, students will line up in a single file line on one side of the table or desk. The first person in the line will go first and they will have both the number sheet of paper and the actual cup. They will set the cup up on the edge of the desk or table and then using their index finger, flip the cup over. If the cup did not successfully flip over, they will continue to do this until it does. Once the cup successfully flips over, they're ready to grab one of the questions that you already have cut up. Now you can have the questions either cut up in a pile or you can actually put them in a separate cup. That student individually will answer the question and then write down the answer on the corresponding number on the worksheet. Then once they do that, they will pass the cup and the numbered sheet to the next person in line. Now this game does work kind of like a relay race in that everybody is trying to do this the fastest. However, because we are doing this learning style, once a team has completely finished answering all the questions, they're going to raise their hand and then you will run over to that group and look at their one sheet of paper. Use the answer sheet and just kind of gloss back and forth really quick and then see if they answered all the questions correctly. If they did not, just simply circle which ones they got incorrectly and then they now have extra time to figure out what the correct answer was. Now, once the last team has finished flipping the cup and answering all the questions, the game is officially over. At this point, you will then calculate the team that had the most correct answers and then they would actually win the game. So technically, students want to be first and correct. Also, I wanted to point out that if a team does get that extra time to kind of go back and review their answers, this time all students can work together to answer the question. Now, before we get into our next game, remember, teaching doesn't have to be boring. So if you are enjoying these games, then smash that thumbs up button and then grab this free ebook where I give you even more rinse and repeat learning games that you can use to get your children to master standards and have some fun. Now, since we have cups out, let me share with you another game that I love playing with my students to prepare them for the state standardized test, and that is Cup Pong. Now, the setup is very similar to how you play Flip Cup in regards to the study sheet or worksheet, so I'm not going to repeat those instructions. However, this time, when you divide up all your kids into different teams, each team needs a total of 6 cups. Align the cups in a triangle on one side of the table or one side of the desk, and then you will also need to give every single team at least one ping pong ball. Just like with Flip Cup, each team needs a numbered sheet of paper so that they can answer the corresponding questions on the worksheet. Put the different strips that you have cut out into the different cups of each team. Then, once they're ready to start, the first person in each line will simply throw the ping pong ball into the cup. Just like with Flip Cup, children will continue to take turns throwing the ping pong ball and answering the questions. Once the team has answered all the questions, they'll raise their hand. You'll come over, see if they have all the questions correctly by using your answer sheet. Come on now, work smarter, not harder, baby. And then if they didn't answer all the questions correctly, you can give them some extra bonus time to go back and review those questions until all the teams have finished the game. Once all the teams have finished the game, the team that has the most correct answers would actually win. Next, we have the game Target. And no, I am not talking about the shopping center, but I'm talking about a good old bullseye target, baby. And this game is perfect for using multiple choice worksheets or even asking true or false questions. On your whiteboard, you are going to draw 4 different squares around the board. Make sure you space them out and make them nice and big. In the middle of each one of those squares, you're going to write A, B, C, and D. If you have a true and false worksheet, then you can write true or false. Then you're going to divide up all your children into different groups and give each group some balls or bean bags. Students will line up in their teammates about 4 to 6 feet away from the board. You will take a multiple sheet worksheet. This time you don't have to cut it up, you're just reading the questions. You'll read the question out loud and then say the different answer choices. The first person in the line for each team will throw the ball or bean bag to the correct answer on the board. Now, you have to be making sure you're watching because you are now the referee of the game. Knowing the correct answer is C, for example, you are looking to see which team correctly throws their ball or beanbag at the square that says C. A team only gets a point if their ball or beanbag fell within the square of the correct answer. Each time a team correctly does this, they will gain a point and you will collect the tally marks of the points. Once you've added all the questions to your worksheet or even your study sheet, whichever team would have the most points would win. If you're playing this with true or false questions, then you only need 2 rectangles. Having fun ways to get your children to practice and master state standards is one thing. However, if you truly want them to be prepared for the state standardized test, then you need to explicitly teach them test taking strategies. That's why you need to watch this video right now.